Chukwu stood above all other deities as the ultimate creator and source of existence in Igbo cosmology. Welcome to Deka Rankings. The topic for today is Top 10 Most Powerful Igbo Gods. From the forests and rivers of southeastern Nigeria emerges the Igbo spiritual tradition, a complex system that shaped one of West Africa's most populous and culturally influential ethnic groups. The Igbo pantheon reflects a decentralized society where individual achievement, oracles, and personal chi guided life as much as communal deities. These gods and spirits commanded nature's forces, upheld justice, and connected humanity to divine will. Today we rank the top 10 most powerful deities of Igbo mythology, from the least to the most mighty. We will explore their sacred domains, cultural significance, oracle traditions, and how their worship endures despite colonial disruption and modern religious change. Number 10. Ahiajoku. Ahiajoku, god of yams and agriculture, controlled the most important crop in Igbo society and determined whether communities prospered or starved. Yams served not merely as food, but as currency, status symbol, and centerpiece of social life, making Ahiajoku essential to survival. The annual New Yam Festival, called Iriji or Iwaji, celebrated Ahiajoku's blessing and marked the agricultural year's most important moment. Before anyone could eat new yams, elaborate ceremonies thanked the deity for another successful harvest and sought favor for the coming year. Men's status in Igbo society partly depended on yam cultivation success, as large yam barns demonstrated prosperity and divine favor. Ahiajoku's worship involved offering the first harvested yams at shrines before any consumption, acknowledging the god's ownership of all agricultural produce. Women particularly honored Ahiajoku as the yam symbolized masculine achievement, while their crops like cocoa yam honored female deities. Violations of agricultural taboos angered Ahiajoku, potentially destroying entire harvests through blight or pests. Today, new yam festivals continue throughout Igboland, with state governments and traditional rulers maintaining ceremonies that honor Ahiajoku while celebrating cultural identity and agricultural heritage. Number 9. Ogbunabali. Ogbunabali, deity of death and the night, personified the darkness that brought fear, danger, and mortality to vulnerable humans. His name literally means "he who kills at night," reflecting the belief that nighttime deaths occurred through his direct intervention. Unlike peaceful death from old age, sudden or violent deaths, especially those occurring after dark, were attributed to Ogbunabali's judgment or punishment. The deity represented justice's dark aspect, executing divine punishment on wrongdoers whom human law could not reach. Igbo people feared going out at night unnecessarily, believing Ogbunabali's spirits roamed freely in darkness, seeking violators of sacred laws. Certain crimes, particularly abominations against the earth goddess, resulted in Ogbunabali's pursuit until the offender died mysteriously. He was not worshipped like benevolent gods, but rather propitiated through careful adherence to taboos and proper conduct. Traditional rulers sometimes invoked Ogbunabali when executing judgment, asking him to strike down those who escaped human justice. Today, though Christianity and Islam dominate Igboland, many people still feel the ancient fear of unnecessary nighttime travel, and beliefs about mysterious deaths retain echoes of Ogbunabali's terrible power over darkness and mortality. Number 8. Chi. Chi, the personal god or guardian spirit assigned to each individual at birth, determined personal destiny, success, and life circumstances beyond human control. Every Igbo person had their own chi, making this concept more personal spiritual force than communal deity. The relationship between person and their chi explained why some prospered, while others struggled despite equal effort. Success required harmony with one's personal spirit. Proverbs emphasized chi's importance. When a man says yes, his chi says yes also, taught that personal will must align with spiritual destiny. Achievements were attributed to good chi, while failures blamed on bad chi or poor relationship with one's guardian spirit. People consulted diviners to understand their chi's nature and requirements, learning what sacrifices and behaviors would improve their spiritual relationship. At death, the chi departed, and one hoped to be reborn with a better chi in the next life, reflecting belief in reincarnation. The chi concept influenced Igbo individualism, as each person's relationship with their spirit was unique and personal. Today, even Christian and Muslim Igbo often maintain belief in personal destiny and spiritual forces shaping individual lives, showing chi's enduring psychological and cultural influence. Number 7. Ekwensu. Ekwensu, trickster god and spirit of testing, bargaining, and warfare, occupied morally ambiguous position as neither purely evil nor purely good. He represented the principle of disruption that could bring either beneficial change or destructive chaos depending on circumstances. As patron of warriors and traders, Ekwensu embodied the aggressive, competitive aspects of Igbo life, the drive to succeed regardless of obstacles. His worship involved seeking advantage in conflicts, business deals, and competitions, making him popular among ambitious individuals. Unlike the Christian devil with whom missionaries confused him, Ekwensu's actions served divine purposes by testing human character and rewarding cleverness. He punished the weak, careless, and foolish, while favoring those who demonstrated cunning, strength, and determination. Stories described him as master bargainer, who granted wishes in exchange for specific services or sacrifices, with dire consequences for those who failed to uphold their end. His association with violence made him patron of blacksmiths, warriors, and anyone engaged in dangerous professions. Today, missionary influence transformed Ekwensu's image into Satan-like figure in Christian contexts, but traditional practitioners recognize him as complex force representing life's competitive realities and the necessity of spiritual warfare. Number 6. Agwu. Agwu, deity of divination, healing, and inspired madness, controlled the spiritual gifts that made traditional priests, diviners, and healers possible. Those called to practice traditional medicine experienced Agwu's touch, often through illness, visions, or strange behaviors that marked them as spiritually chosen. The deity granted knowledge of herbs, spiritual sight to diagnose supernatural causes of disease, and power to combat evil forces affecting human health. However, Agwu's gift came with burden. Practitioners had to maintain strict taboos and ritual obligations, or risk the madness turning destructive. Mental illness and epilepsy were sometimes interpreted as signs of Agwu's calling that the person refused to accept or properly channel. Diviners attributed their abilities to Agwu's inspiration, performing rituals to maintain good relationship with this unpredictable but essential power. The deity's dual nature meant he could heal or harm, enlighten or drive mad, depending on proper ritual approach. Communities respected and feared Agwu's chosen, recognizing their spiritual power while acknowledging the deity's dangerous nature. Today, traditional healers continue attributing their knowledge to Agwu, even while some convert to Christianity, and the concept helps explain mental illness in ways that differ from Western psychiatric models. Number 5. Anyanwu. Anyanwu, the sun deity whose name means eye of light, provided the light, warmth, and energy essential for all life on Earth. As one of the most visible manifestations of divine power, Anyanwu's daily journey across the sky marked time's passage and governed daily activities. The sun's power destroyed evil spirits that fled from daylight, making Anyanwu protective force against supernatural dangers. Farmers depended on the sun for crop growth, with too much bringing drought and too little preventing harvest. Balance required proper ritual relationship. Oaths sworn before Anyanwu carried special weight, as nothing could hide from the sun's all-seeing eye witnessing all human actions. The deity's association with Ala, the earth goddess, created the fundamental duality of sky and earth, male and female, structuring Igbo cosmology. Some traditions described Anyanwu as masculine, while others considered this deity gender-neutral, reflecting the sun's universal power transcending human categories. Rituals honored Anyanwu at dawn and sunset, acknowledging the deity's daily rebirth and nightly rest, maintaining cosmic order. Today, though rarely receiving direct worship, Anyanwu remains a powerful symbol in Igbo culture, appearing in names, proverbs, and the understanding that light represents divine presence, dispelling spiritual darkness. Number 4. Ikenga. Ikenga, god of personal achievement, masculine power, and success through individual effort, embodied the Igbo ideal of self-made prosperity. Represented by carved horned figure holding knife and severed head, Ikenga symbolized aggressive pursuit of success and overcoming of obstacles. Every adult Igbo man maintained personal Ikenga shrine where he made offerings before important endeavors, seeking favor for business, farming, or conflicts. The deity rewarded hard work, determination, and ambition while punishing laziness, cowardice, and lack of initiative. Success in life required strong Ikenga, the spiritual force driving personal achievement independent of family or community support. Men swore oaths by their Ikenga, calling this personal god to witness and enforce promises, with violation bringing certain failure. The hand holding the knife symbolized warrior achievement, while the severed head represented conquered enemies or overcome obstacles. Wealthy, successful men had larger, more elaborate Ikenga shrines, demonstrating their god's power through material prosperity. Today, Ikenga represents the Igbo entrepreneurial spirit and individualism that propelled the group to commercial success throughout Nigeria, and even Christian Igbo often maintain conceptual relationship with personal achievement power. Number 3. Amadioha. Amadioha, god of thunder, lightning, and divine justice, punished wrongdoers with terrible swiftness, striking down violators of sacred law with lightning bolts. His name means free will of the people or will of the masses, reflecting his role as enforcer of communal justice and moral order. When lightning struck a person or building, communities interpreted this as Amadioha's judgment on hidden crimes or serious transgressions. The deity's oracle at Ozuzu became one of Igboland's most powerful, with people traveling great distances to swear oaths and seek judgment in disputes. Amadioha represented the principle that evil could not hide. Eventually, divine justice would reveal and punish wrongdoing even when human authorities failed. His association with thunder made him voice of heaven, as storms rumbling was interpreted as the god speaking displeasure or warning. Warriors invoked Amadioha before battles, and communities sought his protection against enemies through sacrifice and ritual. His power extended beyond moral judgment to controlling rainfall, fertility, and agricultural success, making him essential despite his fearsome nature. Today, though Christianity dominates the region, beliefs about lightning strikes as divine punishment persist, and the name Amadioha remains popular, showing continued respect for this powerful deity's terrible justice. Number 2. Ala. Ala, the earth goddess and most important deity in daily Igbo religious life, controlled land fertility, moral law, and the realm of the dead. As mother of all living things, she represented the earth itself as living divine presence, making her worship fundamental to agricultural survival. Every crime against human life constituted abomination against Allah, requiring elaborate purification rituals to avoid community-wide disaster. Murder, suicide, birth of twins in some communities, and certain sexual violations polluted the earth, angering Ala and bringing famine, disease, or death. Her authority exceeded even Chukwu's in daily matters, as people interacted with earth constantly while the supreme god remained distant. The Mbari houses, elaborate artistic shrines built to honor Ala, showcased some of Igboland's finest traditional art, with sculptural programs depicting her and other deities. She judged the dead, determining their fate in the afterlife based on conduct during life, making moral living essential for good death. Her annual festivals preceded planting season, with communities seeking her blessing for successful harvests through sacrifices and cleansing rituals. Colonial disruption and missionary activity heavily suppressed Allah worship, but her influence persists in land disputes, moral concepts, and agricultural practices. Today, Allah represents the spiritual dimension of environmental ethics, showing how traditional religion maintained ecological balance through sacred relationship with Earth itself. Number 1. Chukwu. Chukwu, whose name means Great Spirit, or Supreme God, stood above all other deities as the ultimate creator and source of existence in Igbo cosmology. This supreme being created the universe, all lesser deities, spirits, and everything that exists, making Chukwu the absolute authority over cosmic order. Unlike deities with specific functions, Chukwu was omnipotent, omniscient, and eternal, qualities that later resonated strongly with Christian concepts during missionary encounters. The supreme god was too vast and perfect for direct human approach, requiring intermediary deities and ancestors to carry prayers upward and blessings downward. Chukwu's distance from daily worship did not diminish supreme authority, as all other deities ultimately derived power from this source. The Oracle of Chukwu became one of Igboland's most influential institutions, claiming to speak Chukwu's will and settling disputes across communities. Every Igbo greeting and blessing invoked Chukwu's name, acknowledging the supreme god's ultimate control over human affairs. Proverbs taught that what Chukwu had done could not be undone, emphasizing divine sovereignty over fate and circumstances. When Christianity arrived, most Igbo easily identified Jehovah with Chukwu, seeing them as the same supreme being under different names. Today, the name Chukwu remains central to Igbo spirituality, used by Christians and traditionalists alike, showing how concepts of supreme divinity transcended religious conversion and maintained continuity with ancestral wisdom. These Igbo deities shaped one of West Africa's most dynamic and entrepreneurial cultures, their worship supporting both communal cohesion and individual achievement. From the supreme creator to personal guardian spirits and the all-important earth goddess, they represent a sophisticated spiritual system balancing cosmic order with personal destiny. Though Christianity and Islam dominate modern Igboland, these ancient powers continue influencing cultural identity, moral concepts, and the spiritual worldview of millions. Like this video, and subscribe to Deca Rankings for more videos like this.